thank God for all that you've done from morning to now. This is 5 minutes past, 3 minutes past 8 Nigerian time. I don't know the time you are there now in America, in Canada, in Europe, in Asia, in Africa. I just want to say you're all welcome to this program. This is Time Out with Elo David on BHF Foundation. BHF is a youth organization that is determined and serious about trying to see how to build a better tomorrow by trying to educate the youth for today. You know, I've always said in this program that the youth are the stories of tomorrow, while the elders are the stories of the past. Any nation that has an elderly population, only more elderly population than youth population, is a nation that doesn't have a future. Let me say that again. If 80% of the citizens of the nation are elderly people, and only 20% are youth, then definitely the nation does not have a future. And so you know how tomorrow will look like by the youths of today. You know how there's no rocket science. You'll be able to find out and know exactly what tomorrow is, what your tomorrow will be as a nation, by the kind of youths you are able to bring up today. And unfortunately, we have a youthful population that have little or no role models. Most of the youths we have today have nobody to actually take care of them, to groom them, to bring them up. Those who they are looking up to as leaders are either, how do I put it now, are bad role models. In government, you have terrible role models. You see how they are fighting in the House of Assembly. You see how they find it difficult to stand by the truth. Justice does not prevail anymore because people are afraid to stand by the truth anymore. Most of the things they say, even from government, they are lies. So our youths have been trained by their parents to lie, trained by the government to lie, trained by the agencies of the government to lie. For example, in Nigeria now, for about 10, 12 times, they've said the NNPC filling station, the refinery in Port Harcourt will start to work. They've stopped talking about it. They say, in fact, the last time was September. By September, it must work. After they've talked about 10 times, and it didn't work in different times. Since last year, they've been saying it will work, it will work. And when they finally did not working, they say by September. Now they just ceased. They didn't say anything again. And today again, I will discover that the NNPC moved a step further by removing themselves completely from the supply of petroleum products, which is a tragedy. You see, there is no reasonable government in the world that will not take part in things that are sensitive to its citizens. Petrol is very sensitive to Nigerians because the life of Nigerians is tyrant petroleum. We need petrol for everything. We don't have constant supply, so we need petrol for generator, you need petrol for your vehicle. We do not have an effective rail system that you can use to transport goods from the north to the south. Most of the food crops we have, most of the food items we have, we buy them from the north. And they use these vehicles to carry the food from the north to the south. And these vehicles, they run on either fuel or diesel. We do not have an effective rail system that makes it easier. You just put all your goods in the rail and you drive. No, we don't have it. We have vehicles, trailers and lorries that are either powered by fuel or powered by diesel. And so definitely when there is an increase in pump price, for example, automatically there's an increase in the cost of living. There's an increase in cost of living. The government managed to increase the minimum wage from 30,000 to 70,000, which has not been paid, and now they've increased the fuel more than 4 or 5 times. As at this morning now, NNPC announced that in the NNPC filling station, the fuel is over 1,000 naira. And just be rest assured that beginning from tomorrow, products will be ×3. So what is the purpose of governance? The purpose of governance, they remove, initially when they said they remove subsidy, we didn't see one thing they use the subsidy money to do. The roads are bad. For those who stay in Ogun State, in Nigeria, they will understand precisely what I'm talking about. When you are moving from Denro to Ajun, from Ajun to from Denro to Akute, from Akute to Ajun, from Ajun down, you are coming towards towards maybe Lambert side, or you want to pass through Fagba, the roads are bad, extremely bad. So a few days ago, I managed to pass there when I went for a program, and I asked myself, if there are people, human beings that are staying there, and this is a place that is highly populated, and nothing was done. Since they removed the subsidy, nothing has been done. The road is still worse. In fact, since they say they removed subsidy till now, we've not seen and one thing they use the subsidy money to do. There is nothing to show that they removed subsidy in the life of the people. They make life difficult for people. And now with this recent increase in cost of petroleum products in Nigeria, be rest assured, like I said earlier on, that the cost of living will increase. A lot of people are dying of hunger and poverty, but the government is insensitive. One of the things they pride themselves in is that when they say a thing, they want to stand by it, because they have the army, they have the police to terrorize anybody who has a dissenting voice. There's no more opposition. And so so they feel right now that they have the army and they have the judiciary on their side, so they can deal with you, they can lock you up, they can do this, they can do that. But that is not the show of strength. The show of strength is to be able to tackle these corrupt leaders, those who are stealing our oil, who are among the rich people. There is no poor man that have access to steal oil, to steal crude. No poor man has that access. They say 40% of our crude is being stolen. Until now, nobody has been arrested and prosecuted. And so the strength of every government is not in punishing its people, because if people don't have voice to talk. They are controlling army, as I said, the police, everything is under their control. And so the citizens were able to deal with the citizens because they don't have anybody that will fight for them. We have been able to capture everything, capture the legislature, capture the judiciary, capture the security, capture various groups and the rest, and threaten them with all kinds of things. And so now it's the voiceless that the voiceless citizens are the people that we must deal with. They will suffer for it. They will do this. They will do this. That is not governance. That is not governance. By now we expect that those 400 people that Dubai sent to Nigeria that are sponsoring terrorism during the Buhari regime, their names should be made public and they should be arrested. That is strength. Tackle those. You see, when you are having a boxing match, for example, and you put a boxing match between a heavyweight and a lightweight, that is not a fair competition. A fair competition is when you match the heavyweight with also the heavyweight. Heavyweight fight heavyweight. Lightweight fight lightweight. So the government now is the heavyweight. They have the federal might on their side. And so trying to crush the citizens does not show strength. It does not show strength. What shows strength is the ability to be able to tackle the bourgeois, the talikawas, and the bourgeois who are there, who have been making the country dry through fraud, through during the subsidy regime. I don't really know what the NNPC managing director is still doing, because he was around throughout the subsidy regime with a massive fraud. So I was thinking there will be an investigation to investigate what took place during the subsidy regime, because the last administration, they paid so much for subsidy, so much. And Dangote in one of his interviews said that it will bring an end to people just collecting more license for coming to collect money for subsidy, and they are not subsidizing the product. These are the areas that should be investigated. I expect a high-powered investigation into this oil sector in Nigeria, because this oil sector stinks. That is the bedrock of corruption. And so fighting the stinkiness, fighting the fraud, the bourgeois that are in the oil sector, that would have been a fair fight. Not punishing the ordinary citizens who have been suffering since 2025. So 25 years ago. Since 1999, it has been progressive suffering, from one level of suffering to the other. And right now in this administration, that's come to the peak of suffering. Imagine an administration that inherited 118 naira as fuel for cost of petroleum. At the same time, you are having cost of petroleum for over 1,000 naira. And any disabled person will have been able to say that it must have effect in the life of the people. And so what are the stopgap? What are the things that have been put in place to see that these issues are mitigated? For example, if our refineries, if all these things that were done now were done when our refineries are working, if they have put the refinery to work, it would have been better. But to tie the destiny of the entire nation to one man, to one businessman, Dangote refinery. So the entire country now will depend on Dangote refinery. So whatever price that he puts is what we are going to go through. If he gets up tomorrow now and says the dollar is expensive, so there's an increase in dollar, so what I want to do now, I want to, the fuel right now is going to 2,000. There's nothing we can do. So Nigeria at the moment is helpless. There is no government in the world that does that. These are essential products. The Americans, they subsidize. They subsidize food. The UK, they subsidize. You go to Germany, they subsidize energy. Every government has one thing or the other is subsidizing. Every government. Because what the government wants to do is the welfare of the people. That is the priority. That is the priority. If at the end of the day, I mean, what credit do you want to have at the end of the day? At the end of the 4 years of this regime, what are the credits they want to have? What will be their souvenir? What will be their report card? That they were able to take 200 million people into poverty. That more people died of starvation, of frustration, of high blood pressure during this government. Is that the CV they want to present? And like I've always said, the problem we have in leadership in Africa is that the leaders are not accountable to the people. No, they are not accountable. They've succeeded in putting an electoral system in place that can be manipulated, an electoral system that can be used, an electoral system that cannot be trusted. They know that if we have an effective electoral system, there is no way we will not have good leadership. But as long as we have an electoral system all over in Africa that cannot be relied on, an electoral system that you must win. In fact, apart from Goodluck Jonathan, it has never happened in Nigeria before where an incumbent president will lose. No, it has never happened. It has never happened. Because they use the federal money, they use all the structures they have. That's why they keep talking about structure. The structure they are talking about is the rigging structure, the structure to rig, the structure to manipulate. They brought in IRF. The man spent so much money. Buhari spent so much money in trying to see that he reformed the electoral system. I remember, as it 305 billion then that was given to the chairman and the rest to organize an election. But at the end of the day, look at the election that was organized. Look at the election that was organized. They could not transmit. They began to use manual. As at this morning, or yesterday night, or early this morning, the opposition party in Edo State were saying they want to see the materials for the election. And today, INEC refused to present the material. One begin to wonder, why were you? I mean, you finish the election, you declare a winner. It is a material that you use to declare the winner. So give the material for the opposition to look at. They couldn't. Because there's this strong rumor that what they declared is different from what is in the IRF. And the question is that, is this how we are going to continue to live as a nation? With so much insincerity, with so much lies, with so much manipulation, are we going to continue to have an electoral system like this? How are we going to get good leadership? When you cannot trust the electoral system in the local government level, you cannot trust the electoral system in the state level, and you cannot even trust the electoral system in the federal level. Now, when you have this kind of system, then you know that anybody that is in power is not accountable to the citizens. He can do what they want to do because they are sure that they are going to win the election. The election is already won. In fact, the result for the election has already been colluded. You will be surprised that the result for 2004, 2007 is already concluded. We can't continue to have an electoral system like this. And that is the reason why we are saying they need to reform the electoral system in Nigeria. It has to be reformed. Not the kind of reform that Buhari did, where they left a loophole where they can loot. Where they left a loophole where they can rig. They organized a powerful, in fact, that would have been, the IRF would have been the game changer. People were so happy that when you vote, immediately the result will be transmitted straight to the IRF. So as you vote, the result goes there. And so they collect it there. There's no space for rigging. Because where rigging takes place is during the manual collation. During the manual collation is where the rigging takes place. The rigging, not even in the voting. And so, but if you transmit it to the IRF, it is easier. Everybody will begin to have a copy. What I was thinking is that there will even be an improvement in the sense that immediately you vote, right? At the end of the vote, when they collected the result from each polling unit, it will be transmitted to the IRF. Then from the IRF, they should transmit it straight to all the participating parties to their situation room. So they already have the record. For example, if you have maybe a polling unit in Okerebori Road, for example, once they vote, it goes straight to the IRF. And you have one in Alimosho, it goes straight to the IRF. You have one in Ojo, it goes straight to the IRF. Now, when the things like that is, then you can collect manually. I mean, then you can collect from the IRF, not collecting manually. Look at what happened in Edo State. It is more like the more you look, the less you see. So the election cannot be trusted. And as it is now, I want to say, look as if Nigerians are completely weak. The spirit of Nigerians are defeated. And I want to encourage Nigerians that they should stand, and because they are fighting for their country. They should not leave this nation into the hands of the politicians. Because we have seen that the politicians don't have the interests of the nations at heart. So leaving the nation in the hands of the politicians is very dangerous. They will wake up one day to find out they don't have a nation. Because so far, what we have been seeing, there are strange things that we have been seeing that you cannot understand. For example, the last election that took place in Rivers State, we were shocked that the police were not present. They said they have a court judgment. But the situation we have right now, we have two court judgments. We have one that came from Abuja. We have another one again that from Rivers State High Court. The question is that which one are they holding on to? Why must they decide to hold the one that comes from the federal? Why didn't they hold the one that comes from the state? And these are the reasons why people are agitating for state police. Because it's obvious that, you know, that once you are the president or you belong to the federal level where they control the police can be used to do whatever they want to do. And it's not supposed to be like that. It's a Nigerian police force. It's not a party police force. The police force does not belong to the party. It belongs to Nigeria. It's the pride of Nigeria. And one of the conduct or one of the work of the police is to defend, is for peace, provide peace in the country. And so there will be a place for election and the rest. And at the end of the day, the police said the court told them not to be part of it. How can the court stop police from being part of an election when the job of the police is to provide security? It's becoming an embarrassment every day. I don't know what is going on now for the past 10 years. I've never seen it in my life before. I'm not a lawyer, but I have common sense. This is simply common sense. You don't need to be a lawyer to have this now. For goodness sake, you don't need to be a lawyer to be able to understand this thing. How can a court say police should not be part of an election? It is the state that organizes the election. The state wants to organize the election, and somebody brings a judge, a competent judge will sit down in Abuja and say that the police should not be part of the election. How? Why? And people are asking. I mean, somebody made a joke today in the mainstream media that the way we are going right now, one day the judiciary, the judge will give a declaration that a pregnant woman that is 9 months about to deliver should not be delivered. There will be an injunction to stop the woman from delivering, so that the woman can wait for another 8 months again. Even though she wants to deliver, they will just come and bring a court injunction and give to the doctors who want to deliver the woman, and say there's a court injunction that this woman should not deliver the baby. So even if it is 9 months, we are going to wait until they vacate the court injunction. Madam, you can go back home. We will not deliver you in this hospital, because we just received a court injunction that we should not deliver you. Somebody went to the court and got an injunction that you should not deliver your baby. So keep the baby in your womb until we are able to go back to the court and get another injunction, or the injunction is lifted before you'll be able to deliver. It's crazy what is going on now. And these are the things you see when other nations are moving towards civilization. Other nations are doing things positive. We are still going backward. And I say this downward trend started about 10 years ago. It was about 10 years ago. The kind of things we have been seeing, we have not seen them before. All kinds of injunctions here and there, and now it has gotten to the court. Or one day there's going to be a court injunction that the president should vacate his seat. Or there will be a court injunction that the security agents should not follow the president anymore, should not provide security for the president. One very soon, just mark my words, very soon a judge will come and say there's a court injunction. No more security should follow the president or the governors. That is how the level to which our judiciary has gotten to. And that's why they are in a hurry to always tell you go to court. And this month in the election, they'll tell you go to court. Because they know already they have the court in their pocket. They'll tell you go to court. And if you go to court, you're just wasting your money. because the result has already, in fact, before you even come to court, they've written down the result already. The judgment has been passed even before you go to court. But we need to leave this system, this kind of structure needs to stop. And we pray for the present Chief Justice of Nigeria. Thank God she's a lady. We pray that God will touch her heart so there can be reforms. There can be genuine reforms. Because I keep saying, and that is the truth, if you don't have justice, you cannot have peace. It's impossible to have peace when there is no justice. You can't. You can never have peace except there is justice. Not just justice. Justice must be seen to be done and done. Not just seen to be done. Must be done. Justice must be done. And that is where we find ourselves as a nation. You know, and we know the way the things are going now, you know, after Edo State, River State, we don't know what will happen in the next election. It's the same process. It's state capture. The same process that will continue. The same process. You know, and it's so pathetic, it's so painful. Because I know the president is a Democrat. The president is busy trying to fix Nigeria up, and there are saboteurs within the government that wants to destroy it. And I'm very, very sure that the president is not even aware of what is taking place now, because this is a Democrat. In fact, like I said some time ago, I said this regime will be a benchmark. I was looking at this regime at a benchmark of what democracy ought to be. That after this regime is gone, every subsequent government will use this as a benchmark. That's what I was thinking. But I'm shocked right now that what we are seeing is the opposite. We are beginning to see a system that there is no system that is as worse as what is going on now. Even the previous system, we thought it was better, we're even worse, until we find ourselves in this present system. In the present system, we begin to see things taking place, things that you cannot understand, things that you cannot picture. This nation belongs to all of us. We are just passing through. I want those judges and the rest to remember. The judges, security agents, they should remember that we are passing through. Today it might be APC in power. Tomorrow we don't know what will be in power. There used to be MPC, there used to be UNPP, you know, there used to be MPP, there used to be MPN, there used to be UPN, there used to be GMPP, there used to be PROP. They've had series of parties. So I expect that the judiciary and the rest should not join these present political parties to destroy this nation, to make this nation a laughing stock in the community of nations. This is not what democracy is supposed to be. And the security agents should know that they owe it a duty to the next generation. They should know that they owe it a duty to preserve the constitution of Nigeria, to help build up Nigeria. And the judges themselves should know that they owe it also to their children unborn, even to their unborn children. Whatever they are doing now, the world will not forget it. They will trace it to their children. Oh, you are the great grandson of so and so judge. Oh, this judge performed poorly. The judge that was given all kinds of injunctions, probably collected your gunje. Oh, you are the judge. Oh, that will handle the case of this. Oh, very painful. Your father, I know your grandfather was terrible. Was a worst judge. We don't need this kind of legacy for our children. We want a legacy of pure sincerity, where our children will be proud of us. I want you to know that we are writing history anywhere you are, in any sector you are, whatever sector you are in your country, you are writing history. History for good or history for bad. Because you won't remain on earth forever. I don't know why people find it difficult to understand. That you will not remain on earth forever. You are just passing through. Whatever you are doing now is being written down. In the next 50, 60, 700 years, history will begin to pump out what you have done. They will begin to bring out what you have done as a president, as a governor, as a senate president, what you have done. And unfortunately, we have a senate that seems as if it is captured. That is not working for the interest of the people. That anything that the executive do, that is why they say absolute power. Power corrupts, absolute power corrupt, absolutely. Especially for the black man. We seems not to look as if democracy is not for black race. We have this autocratic nature, this nature of always trying to lord over others. So we have autocratic nature, dictatorial nature. It's the nature of the black man. The nature of the black man is that dictatorial nature, to always dictate. You know, I'm the president, I have federal. You keep hearing them say it. Every time, any small thing, federal might, federal. It's a shame. You can't begin to hear such things in UK or such things in America, you know, or such things in other countries and Denmark and the rest where you have civilized people. You can't hear such things. You can't. Federal might. I'm using federal might. I mean, that does not show you have power. That is not power. What do you use the power to do? Power on its own is useless except you use it to do two things. Either you use power to make the life of the people better, or use power to destroy the life of the people. So in this case now, the power they have now, what are they using it for? We have the crisis. Look at River State, for example. We saw where they burnt local government, where some names were called, some people were even put on video, threatening and saying they will do this, they will do this. Live. Have these people been arrested? Now, because these people seem to be affiliated to a big man somewhere sitting in Abuja, so he's free. The first thing the police ought to have done was to have arrested those people identified as threatening that they are going to destroy the secretariat. For goodness sake, why are we like this? Why are we like this, for goodness sake? At times I sit down, I begin to wonder, and I begin to regret, my friend. 1994, I have the opportunity to leave this country permanently. Maybe if I've left now, I will have been a citizen in one country in America or Europe. Because when you begin to see what is happening, you are ashamed. You are ashamed that in this 2024, in this modern world where people are moving forward, we are moving backward. How can a man sit down somewhere and begin to threaten? If you have been governor for 8 years and you leave, can't you leave the place for the next person? They were governors before you came. How many of them fought you? And this person cannot be called to order. This person is saying there will not be peace until they obey the court injunction. Which of the injunction are they obeying? Is it the one by the River State? We have one from River State. We have a different one from judiciary. And I think that these people ought to know better. I mean, one from Abuja, one from River State. So which one precisely? Okay, you are the one now that will decide the court's injunction to follow. The one of River State, will throw it away. We are going to follow the one in Abuja because that's where I am. I'm the governor of Abuja, so I have a power over some judicial system. So you will take the case to Abuja, and I can be able to control what is taking place there. This is not democracy. This is not good for our children. It's not good for our history. We are writing history. At the time of our history, what are we going to be remembered for? Trying to be dictatorial doesn't make sense. We are not living. I keep saying we are not living here forever. The Egyptians you see today, you might not see them tomorrow. When you know that you are not God, the line between life and death is a very thin line. You can sleep today and don't wake up. So why don't you take your life easy? Why don't you allow peace to reign? This power you are looking for, are you going to have it forever? Can't you reason that you are just passing through? There's a songwriter that says this world is not our own, we are just passing through. We want to begin to see things that are happening. Now look at the cost of things. Instead of us to focus on how to fix our economy, we keep getting involved in things that make you ashamed. This is pathetic. And I expect a situation where the president can be able to call his minister to order. He's supposed to focus on what is happening in Abuja, not what is happening in other states. Threatening everybody, threatening PDP, threatening that, threatening this. One man. And you ask yourself, if he became president, what would have happened? If he had contested and he won and he became president, what would have happened? What would have happened? They should. And it's so important that they should say, no, we have to call this man to order. What is taking place now is not acceptable. We have to call him to order. Because Nigeria belongs to all of us. And we cannot allow our country to be destroyed in our presence. Now, if you look at what is going on now with the new regime of fuel increase again to over 1,000 naira, you'll find that school that is just resuming now, or about to resume, Some parents will not even have money for transport to take their children back to school. I'm not talking about the school fees. I know of school fees in private school that is going to 2 million naira now. We are not talking about how much the children will be used to feed in school, because most of these schools, they stay in the hostel. They don't allow them to cook in the hostel, so they must go to the canteen to eat. So a plate of food now will be like 2,000, 2,005. So you'll be spending close to 7,005 to be able to feed your child in the university a day. The question you ask yourself is, where is the salary of the father? And if you have 3 children in the university, what happens to them? So we have a system right now where the government is doing everything possible to see that illiteracy increases, because more children will drop out of the school. What is the purpose of governance? What is the use of governance? What is the use? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? We're not living if as it is now, it's now declared that, okay, free education, no more school fees. That would have been a relief. Both those in private school and those in government school, no more school fees. The government will be taking care of the school fees. That's a different thing entirely, as it is done in other countries. Then we know that the burden of school fees has been taken away from the parents. But now the burden of school fees has increased. So the question is that this government that came in, what did they come to do to increase the burden of the people? The people were crying in the last government. They were crying that things were difficult. They were buying fuel 118 naira and crying that things were difficult now. Because in Jonathan's time, it was 114 naira. Now, they've now increased it. When this government was coming, people thought, thank God, that last government is the worst. No government will be as worse as this. So people started celebrating when they did the handover. But unfortunately, even during the handover, that's when they announced to them, subsidy gone. He made that statement, Nigeria has never returned back to normal. Since that statement was made last year, Nigeria has not returned back to normal. The only people that are living well in Nigeria now are the politicians, the elected officers. They are the ones that are living well. And because they are eating and living well, they don't care what happens to the poor man in the street that is working with 20,000 naira a month in the private sector. Immediately he wants to ask his employer for increasing his salary, his job is terminated. So right now we are beginning to see a serious, extremely serious increase in unemployment, because with the cost of production now, people can no more, manufacturers can no more employ staff much anymore. Those that have 10 staff have reduced it to 3. Those that have 20 staff have reduced it to 5 because of the cost of production. And the goods they are producing, because of the cost of production also, people cannot even afford the goods. So we have a lot of manufacturers who produce goods that cannot be bought because things are quite on the expensive side. And you say, how long will all these things continue? Will the government not have mercy on people and have compassion? The more they talk about these things, the more they are doing worse. It's like they don't care about the people. It's like people are in a mission to ensure that the population of Nigeria is reduced drastically. Because the suffering of the people does not bother them. I mean, we are living in this country. It was even in this country where we were having end-ban governance protests, where legislative leaders said they can be killing themselves and fighting. That's their business. He will be eating and enjoying himself. A leader shows that he doesn't care about the people. The people is only priority. Whether the people like it or not, I will still come back to office because I have the INEC in my pocket. I can come back to office anytime I want to come back. You do the election 10 times, I will still win 10 times because I already have them. I control them. I can use them. In fact, I will even give them the election result to announce. I will write it and give to them. Is this the kind of democracy we want to run in 2024? And how long will this kind of democracy last? How long will the suffering of the people last? Nigerians have been very patient, to the extent that people are saying Nigerians are fools. Some people are saying Nigerians are gullible. Some people are saying Nigerians are afraid, they are scared, they are cowards. No, Nigerians are not cowards. Nigerians are not afraid. Nigeria still wants to keep hope alive, believing that our politicians will come back to their senses and make life easy for people. So Nigerians are craving for peace. That does not mean they are scared. It's just they want peace. And they are waiting seriously to see, hopefully, that the government will be able to consider their plight and begin to fix Nigeria. That is the reason why they are quiet, not because they are cowards, not because they are scared. No. And the way things are going now, be rest assured that before December, the price of fuel will get to 1,500 naira. I never believed in my life, my wildest imagination, that we are going to buy fuel like this. When we are buying fuel 180 naira, we are angry. We are surprised. We are angry and say, no, this government is wicked. How can we buy fuel 180 naira? In fact, when Jonathan increased fuel from 75 naira to 114 naira, it is these same people in government that went to Ojota to riot. The same people. That begin to wonder, begin to tell you the kind of people we have as leaders. They went there to riot and they called Jonathan all kinds of names. They say it's clueless. And they left. So, okay, take over. And those who have the clue, they say Jonathan was clueless. And those who have the clue have taken Nigeria and rubbed the face of the people on the gutter. Imagine you want to fill your tank, you will fill your tank with 80,000 naira and your salary is 30,000. Let's even assume they are paying the new minimum wage of 70,000 naira. A bag of rice is more expensive than the minimum wage. So those who are working in Nigeria, the amount they sell rice is more expensive than their monthly pay. How long are we going to leaders? How long? You are sitting upon billions. You eat money as you like. You spend money. You and your friends and in the state level, all of them, they have money. They are spending money as they like. Why don't you consider the people? Why don't you have mercy on Nigerians? Do you know what this increase will cost to Nigeria? We have crude, for goodness sake. We're a major oil producing nation. There was a time, I think we are still, that we are the 6th largest producer of crude oil in the world. And yet Nigerians are being punished. Nigerians are being punished. Nigerians are being dealt with. Nigerians are being frustrated. People are dying. People are suffering. Because of where they've run the government to. And they believe that there's nothing people can do. Even if people that say, okay, let them come out and protest, there's police on standby to arrest them. And they will charge them for treason. So that's where we are now. That's where we found ourselves. And you ask yourself, do we have a democracy or civilian government? No, we don't have a democratic government yet. What we have is civilian government. And funny enough, some of the people that even fought the military, that were autocratic, they were dictators, they were this, are the same people in power now. And we find out that the military was even better. Those that fought the military, and they gave us democracy, which is the best form of government in the world. Democracy is the best form of government because everybody now has representative. Democracy is something that will bring development to us. The military regime is outdated. It is native. It is a native system of government. All over the world, nobody accepts it anymore. Very archaic, very ancient. Nobody goes back to that kind of government. Military government is gone and gone forever. God will not allow them to come back to Nigeria. Never. But those who have there as civilians, they should be democratic. One thing is to have a civilian government. The second thing is to have a democratic government. You can have a civilian government that is not democratic. I think one of the most democratic governments we have so far in Nigeria is Jonathan's government. Very, very democratic. Very, very democratic. People protested, just leave you alone. You have a right, except when you want to begin to disturb others. You can decide to carry a placard and move around the street as it's done in the developed country. One person can decide to move around with placard. That's it. That is his right in the constitution. It's not a big deal. But this country, they make it a big deal. You begin to wonder what they are scared of. Because you see, when we begin to run a democratic system of government where the people are the center of decision, where the welfare of the people matters to those in power, they find that they have nothing to hide. Nothing. They have nothing to be worried about. In fact, they can walk in the streets and walk to the markets. People will want to see them and shake them. because they are doing well. But when the government is not doing well, that is when they try to hide. That is when their heart is beating them. That is when everything becomes an issue. Everything. Protest is an issue. Everything becomes an issue. Everything becomes an issue. Why? Because they know they are not in the right track. They know they are not in the right track. Nigerians have suffered enough. Let government intervene. I want to beg the president, Tinubu, intervene. Your people are suffering. Your people. We have a leader, we have a president who is a Nigerian. If he's a white man now, it's okay, he's a colonial leader. We have a Nigerian who is somebody who is a Nigerian as a leader. It's not a foreigner that is leading us, it's a Nigerian. So a Nigerian leader should be able to have sympathy that these are my people. Every leader is interested in his people. Look at Israel, for example. Look at the fight that is taking place. And each time you hear Netanyahu speak, you will see the passion. He has to defend these people. Anytime you see the Gallant speak, the IDF commander speak, you see their passion. They are people. They are prepared to do anything. A citizen is prepared to die for a nation that loves them, that is prepared to give up anything for them. That's why you keep hearing people say, I'm an American. Because the American will do anything. The American government will do anything to protect the interests of America. Anything. They can go to war to protect the interests of Americans. And so the Americans themselves, they know that their citizens, their government loves them. And so they will want to do everything possible to see that they are able to serve the nation well. They want to do the best for their nation. That's why J.F. Kennedy once said, the one-time president of America once said, don't think of what your country can do for you. Think of what you can do for your country. When the people see that the nation leaders love them, there is nothing they will not do for the leadership, for that nation. They are prepared to sacrifice anything for the nation because they know that the nation loves them. The love of the nation to the citizens is what determines the kind of love the citizens will also have for the nation. How do you love a nation like this, that is killing its people gradually with suffering, with poverty, with hunger, with scarcity? Before December, a bag of rice will be 150,000 naira. And they just behave as if they don't care. Because there's so much money within government to play with. They don't even know what you're talking about. And that's why I see that people fight and kill in Nigeria to enter government positions. To enter elective offices, they do everything because that's the way out of poverty. You are sure that every month you are receiving money, whether you work or you don't work. Even if you go to the local government to sleep, or you are governor, you go to the office to sleep, every month there's money for you to share. You are receiving money every month, billions to play with. And so the interest of the people is not. I talk about the love for your nation. About 3 days ago, made it about 1,000, made it about a year that the Hamas in Gaza invaded, attacked Israelis and killed 1,200 people and took about 250 hostages. On the 8th, the next day, Hezbollah took over. And as we're talking right now, Israel has completely destroyed Gaza and destroyed Hamas. All the battalions in Hamas have been destroyed. Hamas have been completely destroyed. They've now shifted the center of gravity right now to Lebanon. And they've entered Lebanon. They are gradually turning Lebanon to Gaza. They've killed the leader of Hezbollah. They killed the assistant of Hezbollah. The assistant of the assistant was also targeted and killed. And right now, like I said yesterday, the most difficult job now is the leadership of Hezbollah. Because once they are appointed a leader, they are eliminated. And so the IDF is prepared to die to protect its citizens. And right now, the Hezbollah guys are calling out for ceasefire. Because gradually, the IDF is destroying Hezbollah gradually. Why? they want to protect their citizens. Because of the citizens in the north. They are ready to sacrifice their life for the citizens in the north to be able to go back home. This is leadership. This is leadership at its peak. This is what they call leadership. And what our leaders, what are they prepared to sacrifice? Or they are just there to follow the bidding of the World Bank. That's all. Anything the World Bank say now will follow. Remove subsidy. Remove how many people die at their business. Do they have the sympathy, the conscience, the heart, the love of Nigerians in their heart? If the entire population of Nigerians are their personal children that came from their own loins, would they treat them like this? Do you know that many children will not go back to school? What is the government doing about it? They will not even, as it is now, they will not even have money to pay transport to go back to school, talk of school fees. Because the transport has doubled again. We need to have leaders that have compassion. As the Israeli government is defending the citizens, fighting to see that those in the north have been restored back home, even sacrificing their life. The IDF, some of the soldiers have been killed, while they are trying to fight to see that they push the Hezbollah back and restore their people back home, and they are prepared to die for it. That is citizenship. I mean, that is what they call leadership. Not just sitting down in the comfort of the office and eating all kinds of things and people are suffering. No. No, that is what we call leadership. The Hezbollah, I watched a video that was released in Iran where they showed there are close to 4,000 Iranian fighters, 4,000 Hezbollah fighters, that the pager that was exploded in Lebanon that destroyed most of them. We saw some of them, their hands and fingers are cut, their private part affected, their eyes, some are in wheelchair. When you see them, you will pity them. Fingers cut off, some wheelchair, some their eyes blind, totally blind. Some their manhood destroyed. They went to a particular mosque to go and pray in Iran. They flew them from Lebanon to Iran. They went to this mosque to pray, and I saw plenty of them in this mosque, completely disabled. Completely disabled. And now the leadership of Hezbollah completely scattered, destroyed. And now they are calling for peace, for ceasefire. Because the government said, no, I will do anything to protect the interests of my people. What will this government do to protect the interests of the common man? To protect the interests of the hungry, suffering man? What steps will the government take to see that the suffering is completely reduced? Completely reduced. What steps are they taking for children who cannot go back to school because of the increase in school fees? The increase in transportation, the increase in food. Even in school, we're not even talking about the food that they will eat, because a reasonable plate of food now is about 2,000, 2,500. So if you're eating 3 times a day, as we said before, 7,500. 7,500 times 30 days. There are 30 days a month. So you see how much you'll be sending to your children every month to feed. The Israeli leadership, they are doing everything till now to defend Israel. As we are talking right now, there's a little bit of panic in the Middle East because after the 180 missile attack on the Jews, on Israel is already preparing for retaliation to retaliate against Iran. Joe Biden is saying, please don't shoot don't attack the nuclear site, don't attack the oil facility, and the rest. But the Israelis said they made up their mind that there's going to be a retaliation. There's going to be a retaliation. And if they say there will be a retaliation, definitely there will be a retaliation. So Iran is at its own edge now. The foreign minister of Iran is moving from place to place. I think he was in Saudi Arabia today. He has been to Qatar. He has been to different places. He has even issued threats to Gulf nations that they should not allow Israeli planes or missiles to pass through their airspace. Because they know that when Israeli attack, they attack big time. They know. They know. So we have the people that says, yes, we must defend our people. We pray that we have this kind of leadership. that will put the poor man in the center of his policy. That before they take any decision, they will think, what do we do about the poor men, the poor people, the hungry people, the suffering people in our land? Until we meet again tomorrow, I want to say, don't lose faith in Nigeria. Don't lose faith in Nigeria. Let's keep working and believing that one day we will have the right kind of leadership. Take good care of yourself. And we also pray that there will be ceasefire after the Israelis have done their retaliation in the Middle East. After they clear the Hezbollah people, after they clear them towards the Litani River area, the UN mark designated area where they are supposed to be, let there be ceasefire. And to the Israelis IDF, please consider the citizens. Too many citizens are now casualty of this war, the war they know nothing about. Please don't turn Lebanon to Gaza. And the Lebanese army, this is the time to take over. Take over your country. Take over your country. Don't allow terrorists to be in charge of a nation. Don't allow your country to be used as a launch site of the Iranian attack. No, don't allow it. Take over your country. It's time for Lebanese to take over Lebanon and for Hezbollah to leave so there can be peace in the Middle East. Take good care of yourself. And please, let me also say this. I want you to subscribe. If you have not yet subscribed to BHF Movies on YouTube, subscribe. We have wonderful movies. After this program, you can watch any of our movies. We have over 600 movies on BHF Movie on YouTube. BHF Movie on YouTube, we have 600 movies. And we are shooting more movies, exciting movies. Please, I want you to subscribe to BHF Movies, share it, and also press the notification button. So each time we come on air, you will know that we are on air. But for your relaxation, just hook up to BHF Movies right now after this program and watch the movies that we have. We have wonderful, entertaining movies. BHF Movie on YouTube. Thank you very much.